Hey everybody, welcome back. Here is the video I think a lot of people have been waiting for. I've got the Benchmade Hard Use Challenge knives completely cleaned up, remodeled, remade, ready to be exhibited, and then following that, the big giveaway. Before we go through these knives though, and they're just right here, tees, right here, I just want to show you something, one thing real quick in this box, and then we'll be right back to these. In my last video, I talked about someone who had sent me a Benchmade Contigo on model 810, goes by the name of TV Skier. Wanted some custom work done. He came up with the design. He knew exactly what he wanted. He's a Photoshop whiz, so he had taken a picture of an actual Contigo and then Photoshopped it up into the new handle shape he wanted. Then it was on me to translate that into G10. I have a standard off-the-shelf 810 SBK right here. Problem I have, and that a lot of people have with this knife, and I absolutely love this knife, I think everybody knows that, it's just the handle leaves a lot to be desired. This is TV Skier's knife, and this is the handle shape he decided on, and I think this is gorgeous. I love this. Number one, I got to start out by saying I'm super jealous that I didn't do one of these for myself and I don't have one of these on my own. If you want to just compare the two together, really he almost kind of reversed the shape where it goes in pretty much there. We still have that, but it's more of a choil rather than this big concave depression. And then the knife comes out to fit the contour of the hand sort of mid-grip. And it really is. It feels so good. So Jay's the one that picked out the pattern on it that he wanted and the color. The cool thing is this is an Osborne design knife. The Benchmade 950 Rift, also an Osborne design knife, kind of all in the same family. It comes standard with the tan and black that looks gray and black G10. So it's kind of cool. It's like, you know, keeping the family tradition going. First of all, this one, perfectly smooth still. All the work, no blade play at all whatsoever. Lockup is great. The big difference here, the choil and then the regrind on the handle. I wish there was a way to get everybody to understand. Like, if I could pass this around to everybody and have you hold this thing and see how comfortable it is, I would, because it's great. It fits the hand perfectly. This one is cut and sized specifically for his hand. I had him send me pictures with his hand on the standard Contigo. Intentionally, a little bit different on this side to this side. The way the hand wraps around it, kind of vertical and then angled, it just, I can't describe it. It feels absolutely perfect. Gave a little bit of a roundedness to the hard edges on the bottom, and then even on the inside there, just to round it off so there's not a hard edge to grab your hand. At first I was worried that because there'd be more G10 than frame there, and it's kind of hard to see. Come on, show the liners. Well, anyway, there's no problem. It's totally solid. You can't feel it. It doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with it whatsoever. I wanted to replace the backspacer, make it a little bit lighter, but if you take out this backspacer, you lose your window punch over there because it's all one solid piece. So I left that in there. It still adds a little bit of heft to the knife. Remember, it's like almost a 4 to 5 ounce knife, you know, as is. So I thought maybe I'd lighten it up a little bit. We talked about doing a lanyard hole because the standard Contigo does not have a lanyard hole, but just the way they did the spacing, I didn't want to start getting into drilling through the steel because you've got that big backspacer in there and other stuff. And so I talked to him about it, and we decided to go without the lanyard hole and just go with the clip, and he can attach a lanyard to that clip. I love this knife. I really, really, really want one of these of my own. This is the perfect modification to the 810. So anyway, okay, there's enough of that. I know what everybody here really wants to see. On to this. Okay, so I had a lot of fun doing the Hard Use Challenge. A lot of people really enjoyed the videos. I had intended to get this done. I've said this over and over. I intended to get this done a lot sooner than I did, but I'm actually kind of glad it dragged on a little while because the amount of people that have taken a look at the videos who have sent me either personal messages or posted comments that video, that series of videos helped them pick out a knife that they were going to carry around, EDC, take to the field, whatever. I'm really glad that people got some actual use out of that video and it served a purpose, because I really did have a good time just putting those things through hell. Somebody came up with a theme, and I have to say, at first I thought, it's a little cheesy, it's a little cliche, but you know what? I kind of liked it. And the theme that they suggested was fire and ice. And I'm not going to call you out by name, but if anybody's interested, just go back through those videos and look at the comments and you'll see it. But I kind of liked fire and ice, and at the time I was watching this show, I think it's on ABC, called Revenge. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's a pretty good show. But anyway, they had a fire and ice party at the exact time I was reading the comments. So I went with the fire and ice theme because I thought it would work out pretty well. So, everybody ready? Yeah, here we go. So here we have fire and ice. Let's start with the 275, which is what I chose to turn into the fire project. I don't know what it was that made this decide to go the fire theme, but I really like the shape of it, and I thought it would go well. I had already showed everybody that the blade on this was going to be kind of a near mirror shine, and I thought that that went with the fire, the shininess, you know. Anyway, so the final choices I went with on this was Lava Flow Keraunite, because I had never used it before and I really wanted to, and I've seen in a few videos of other people once it's been all finished up, and I said, yeah, that's really cool. I was thinking of using it anyway, but it kind of sold me on the idea. Clear C-Tech Matrix, and everything's got a nice ruby red spacer liner behind all that. I decided to go with the holes that were originally in the regular scales. I was thinking about not doing it at first, but I don't know. There's just something about the 275 needs those holes to look right. I'm not sure. Then we ended up with a back spacer of ruby red and orange. Again, just to keep going with that fire sort of lava theme. Put a nice shine on the liners there. I actually have another clip I'm going to play real quick, splice into here as I was doing this however long ago to explain the intent of the shiny blade. So take a look at that.
So I just wanted to show that for this project, I'm actually giving this blade a hand rub to give it the mirror finish. It's going to be a near mirror finish because I'm not using power tools. And the whole process is pretty simple, but very, 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 very tedious. You just take different grades of sandpaper, and I'm on the 320 grade right now. Give it a little bit of water, just keep it lubed up, and give it a rub. So, it's not something that's going to result in a perfect product, but it's definitely going to look much better, in my opinion, because it's going to be something that's clearly handmade and not just something that comes off a production line. So this is a much longer process than I would like it to be. I get very tired and worn out doing it, and these are just a few of the scraps of paper. So I sit here with a G10 coaster and Landshark Lager, the official drink of Doc P knife making. Again, it's not perfect. There's still some grind lines in there, which I want there to be in there. I'm very intentionally leaving the black Cerakote in the grooves there because I like the way that looks. But, you know, it looks, you can, if you look carefully and closely, and I'm sure you can't see it on this camera, you can actually see some of the swirls of the hand rubbing of all the sandpapers. Like I said, I'm about halfway done here. I'm up to 600 grit. I'm going all the way up to 3000 grit, so it'll be shinier than this. Not mirror perfect. There'll still be some lines in it, but shinier than this. But, I mean, if this doesn't look good to you, just remember here's a Griptilian with the black coating. So this guy started here in terms of what it looked like. So that's amazing progress as far as I'm concerned. So, all finished. That was, I want to say, about 20 hours and 3 days worth of work right there. But when you see the results, I think you're going to think it's totally, totally worth it, because the look on this blade is now just, I mean, it speaks for itself.
Okay, and so then I gave the clip just sort of a shiny, sort of brushed, I was hoping to go with that fiery lava feel for it too. So here it is. There's one thing I want to caveat right there. There's some scratches on the blade that are kind of deep. That's left over from the hard use challenge. I imagine it's the stabbing into the hard earth, some rocks or pebbles or whatever. But this came out great. My technique with the axis openings has really come along, and TV Skier, you know, working on your knife really helped me out there. But it's super solid still and super smooth. No blade play to speak of. It just came out, I think it came out really nice. Feels really good in the hand, just slightly wider than your standard 275. Clip is still on there nice and strong. It's drilled for left or right-handed, so you can switch it, and I made sure that little space right there will support switching the clip around if you want to do that. But it feels really comfortable. The pattern that I put in there sort of modeled a little bit after the Boker Wave on that knife. Just, again, flowing, lava-ish, fire. I guess I can stop saying that over and over. And then I shined everything up really, really nicely. So this all looks really well. Also, kind of proud of thinking like this. Because I wanted to match the red and black, I took some Krylon spray paint and then masked off some area of the red G10 spacer over there and just gave some black Krylon underneath all there. So you have that kind of red-black pattern all the way through, flowing through the whole knife. And it really came out good. This is not worn. I intended to shine just the edges of the axis lock up there just to make it match the blade a little bit. And so, I mean, I think it's a really beautiful looking knife. I think it came out really, really nicely. I actually really like the backspacer on this one. I think that came out really nice. The original backspacer that came with it was just G10 anyway. Originally, I thought it was metal, and had it been like a piece of steel, I would have worked with that somehow to still give you that pommel ability on there. but I decided I really liked the way the orange and red looked. So not only that, if anybody remembers the original 275, the backspacer stops about there, give or take. So I decided I was going to extend it all the way up to that front jimping, and you can see it doesn't affect the blade at all. It works perfectly fine. I think it's a nice look to go all the way up the spine there. So there is knife number one. There is Fire. I always kind of intended for this to get kind of a cool, frosty look somehow. I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do it. This didn't live up to everything I'd hoped for it, but I think it came out very nice. Jade G10 on the front, followed up by, it's actually clear C-Tech in the back, but then I have a very thin layer of blue. You can just sort of see it. Very thin layer of blue, and then another very thin layer of jade underneath to give it that kind of frosty look underneath the blue. And then what's really cool is because the blue's showing through the jade, in areas where it's a little bit thinner than others, it shows a little bit more. So it has kind of that imperfect, sort of uneven, frosty look to it. I intentionally didn't shine all this up because I wanted it to retain the kind of the look of the frost a little bit there. And I think it came out really well. I'm really happy with it. Just not exactly what I had intended. I don't know what's wrong with it. You guys probably, I hope you like it. I was going to replace the backspacer on this too with blue C-Tech, but this little glass breaker, I decided originally, I don't know, this really isn't very tactical anymore, but who am I to decide if somebody wins the giveaway, if it's the knife they want, you know, I want them to still have that if they want it. So what I decided to do was take the Dremel, and I gave it sort of a little pattern into the metal there, looking, again, kind of frosted, kind of icy, all the way through, and then shined it up nicely. Did the same thing on the spine right there of the blade, just to kind of make it even and flow through. And then again, this got sort of a nice shiny look on the liners as I was done cleaning it all up and everything. And then on the clip, did the same kind of thing there. So it looks really nice. I had put this one back together just a little bit tighter than I meant to, and then Loctited it in. So it's going to break in a little bit more. It's still perfectly smooth, and the axis lock still works just fine. It's just going to need to be broken in a little bit if this is the knife that's chosen. I really do like the pattern, and I like that I tried to get those grind lines in there a little bit to look a little bit, I don't know if you can tell on the camera right now, but sort of like, you know, windswept glaciers is what I was looking at when I was putting this together. So you can just sort of see a little bit of them, give or take. I don't know. But anyway, very nice stonewash on the blade. Again, to go with that nice frosty look. I think that this came out very, very nicely. I didn't polish it, but I did oil it, of course, you know, just to make it look nice. And then also you can tell I stonewashed most of the hardware, just sort of make it match the blade a little bit. So again, jimping's all still there. Really happy with the texturing on the back spacer. I think it looks pretty cool. And then on the blade. So anyway, there we go. Fire and Ice. And I hope you guys think they're worth the wait. I hope you're happy. I've got a bunch of entries so far into the contest, the giveaway, and I'm thinking that now that I'm showing the knives off, some more subs might decide to get in on that action, and you know, by all means, you're welcome to it. I was going to close the entry period after about a week or so, but I was asked through some PMs by more than one person to give them a little bit extra time to actually make a video response so they can get an extra, you know, entry in there. So that's fine. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to try to get this video edited up and uploaded tonight. We'll have 1 week from today. So we'll say next Tuesday night, which I think is April 2nd or 3rd or 4th, something like that. But 1 week from March 26th. At 11:59 p.m. that night, that's when I'll close the entries, and then that weekend, and then I'll record the video where we actually choose the winner. So, just so everybody knows, if you win, you get to choose whether you want Fire or Ice. You don't get both, because I want one too. I paid a lot of money for these, holding almost like about $400 worth of knife in my hand right here. One little warning though, I don't have the original packaging for either one of them though. I probably should have said that. The boxes never made it home from the desert, but I promise you, I'll get it packaged up nice and safe and shipped out to you in a really timely fashion. So yeah, so all my subs out there, if you haven't already entered and you want to enter, please do so. Just send me a PM and say, enter me into the giveaway, or post a video response like I said in my previous video to get an extra entry that way. And we'll have a really fun time giving one of these things away. I'm really grateful to everybody that kind of stuck in there and was patient with me. I promised you guys I was going to get this done, and it's done, and I'm really happy it's done. I'm super, super happy that I had the opportunity to do this. I really am. So many, many, many more videos. I already have some that I made previously that I just never got a chance to post before I had to go away. I've got more in the works right now. I've got some really cool projects coming up. And if there's anybody out there that wants to see something done, if there's a knife you want to see pimped out or worked on, or you just have some ideas, some color combinations, whatever, please let me know. Because if I think it's cool, I'll grab a knife, I'll do the workup, we'll make a video, and everybody can take a look at it and see what we think, and, you know, probably give one of those away eventually anyway. So thanks a lot again, one more time, to all the subscribers that stuck in there, for all the great comments that were posted, for everybody that submitted ideas for what to do with these knives. Appreciate it all a whole lot, guys, and I will be back with you real, real soon.